Hello. What I want to show you today is a fantastic app that I think can make blended learning really happen, and it has can have a lot of impact in the learning of your students. And that is Genially. And I love Genially because you can use it for so many things. Genially is free. You also have an education plan or premium plan. You don't need it at all to start with unless you absolutely love it and you just want to go for it, which we do, for example, in our team. And when you open Genially, it will ask you first basically to log in. You log in, and this is how it looks like. You can start and create a Genially. It would be your creations, anything that you basically save. And basically, what Genially does, Genially is a little bit like this is everything you can do with it. It's basically like PowerPoint, but 10,000 times better. It's another. You cannot compare it. It's another game, a completely different, very, very, very cool app to use, more interactive and with better templates and more engaging than I think whatever lovely PowerPoint presentation you of background that basically you can basically get. And when you come here, you go presentations, you go dossiers, whatever. I would recommend have a look at, for example, the infographics. I think the infographics are great, and if you are using infographics, for example, with your students, this is great for parents, for at the end of an end of unit. Very, very, very good and very engaging, very professional. And I think when the kids, you present them with something like this, they take that to lead, they appreciate your time, and actually they will take more time as well to learn these things. They will be more likely that you just give them something in black and white that you don't work. And this doesn't take them that long to do, really. So very good as an infographic or by maps if you want to. If you go for the free one, it means you can only use the templates that don't have the little star. As you can see, there are lots that you still can use. However, what I want to show you today is not the infographic, it's the gamification templates. So what do? You come here, you got different ones. I'm going to go for the games. The games ones. Games ones are, you can see how many games you have to choose from. Remember, everything with a star is not free. But you got a lot of choice without a star. Jumanji is a perfect one, and the way I use this is as a board game. We use a lot of board games in languages, and with the current situation and during lockdown, we couldn't use them, and definitely now we can't either. So what Genially offers us is basically an interactive digital board game where you don't need to have and dice, and where you don't need to have anything physical, which I think is very, very good news. You can use this in your biggest screen as a whole class, or because you can share it with your students, you can share it via OneNote, and then the students can have their little game open and they can play in pairs or in group of threes or fours. I've done this with your 10s, with your 9s, and I've done this as well with with A levels. So it's not something that you just only play with little ones. It depends on the task that you want them to require. That's what's going to make the difference. So you come here, you like this. This is a new one which I haven't used yet. It looks really good because I actually play a lot of snakes and ladders normally, and you choose it. And the first thing that it tells, that what Genially does, is that it shows you what the template looks like. So you can have a little bit of play with it, and you can say, yes, definitely this is what I like. So you can see you got a dice set, which is interactive, and you got the draggable elements, and then what you have, which is what tells you here, this is there are draggable elements, and that means they show interactive elements. Okay, and you can see here this is an interactive, which means if you land here, you open there, you will have to do a task. At the moment, Genially for the template, he always uses Latin. So you like this and say, yes, definitely like this. I'm going to use this as my template. So what happens now? You're going to start editing it, and you're going to change the information in there. Automatically, everything will get saved. And now it's going to become quite technical if you want to, but if you don't, it doesn't have to become technical at all. You got a lot of things here: how to insert, how to embed things, images, tests. This would be the equivalent to a little bit like the PowerPoint, but at the moment I'm not. I just want to show you how simple it is just to change a little bit of the templates. You may want to have, okay, actually I'm not going to have I only going to have 2 players, so I'm going to get rid of one of these players. I'm going to get rid of that one, and I'm going to go right click and I get rid of that one. And then obviously what I want to change is maybe you click on it. This is what you have basically. This means that's how the text will appear. So you click on that, it tells you at the moment the way it is going to be an entrance, but you may want to say I want when appear when it hovers the mouse, okay, or I want it to be an exit, or like going towards the right, or an entrance. This is what it is. As you can see, what is clicked on. This is how the animation it is. And when you click on the object, you also got this. This is quite good. This tells you basically this is the instructions. And already the instructions in this game, they're not in Latin, they're in English, which is actually really good. So it looks like actually we didn't have to change that. I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to save it, which means that the kids, they will be able to click on that when you share it with them, and that will pop up. Now I want to see about my trackable objects. Okay, so when the kids come here, this is my object, and this is how it's going to appear. So again, I'm going to say that's an entrance. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to change that. I cannot be bothered, but I definitely need to change what it is there, because at the moment it's something in Latin. So what you do here is basically what is the task that the children will have to do when they land onto that particular square. So it could be a question, like for example, a verb, to work for me. Okay, so I can make this nice and big. Okay, it could be that to work very, very, very good. And this basically, I wanted to translate a verb, and I wanted to tell me a sentence with a verb, and that's the instructions, and I'm gonna tell them in here as well. When you come here, tell me orally with your partners, work with this. You can see another possibility. It could be a question. It could be, and that's the beauty of it, an image. It could be a link. So basically you're going to insert a link. When they come there, they're going to take them to another tab, and they need to do something with it. An article they need to read. Something that you want them to, to read, and then something that you want them with instructions here on what to do with the article. It could be insert a video. This is the cool thing. So if it's a video, you can actually put the URL, so that means you can embed a YouTube video straight away. It will be embedded, okay, into the actual game. Or you may want to have the embedded code, but as I said, with YouTube, you just need the actual link. You don't need to have the embedded code there for a video. It could be a picture, okay, so you can insert an image here that you can insert basically from your computer. It could be a link if you got it somewhere. What things can you add here? You can insert a table, or this is the beauty of it, where you can put something embedded. In other videos, I've talked about quizzes, and I've talked about as well, especially learning apps. Learning apps has got an embedded code. So it could be that what you want the kids to do is an activity from learning apps, and this is where you would embed it. So you come here, and the code from learning apps, you're just going to go there, and you are going to, you get rid of that, and you would embed your code. So when the kids log in there, embedded into their game, they will have a little thing that they can create. I mean, I'm just telling you how cool it is, because you can do so many things. But most importantly, you just can be an oral question. So with my year 12s, what I did during lockdown, because they were talking a lot, because I was very worried about the oral skills, is questions about the topic of feminism in Spain. So it would be, could be, ¿qué es para ti el feminismo? So that would be the question. What is for you feminism? Okay, so could you imagine now the potential this has for any subject whatsoever? Okay, and so it could be again an equation for math. So you're gonna save it, and then you're gonna go to the next one, and you're gonna do one, and you're gonna create again. You're gonna get rid of this, and you're gonna create your next question. Okay, so ¿qué ejemplos de machismo? Okay, examples of sexism or chauvinism. Okay, so I'm gonna make it this big. Actually, you can also choose the size. Okay, so that's what basically is gonna be it. And you carry on and on. If you think actually there are not enough tasks, I want more tasks than this, otherwise the kids are gonna finish the game really really quickly. So what you can do, can you see? You can go right click and you just go copy. and then you just come here and then you just go paste, and now what you have is the second element, which is there, and you just move it in there, and then you can make more of them. And then again, as we did before, you come here, you would have, obviously because you copy and pasted, you just change your question, okay? ¿Conoces a alguien sexista? For example, okay, something like that. I don't know. That could be, and that's it. So you copy and paste, and you can see everything. And as is unsaved, you know, it should be saved. That's it. Automatically saved. You can have a preview. So this is what the kid will see. Name your. So I'm gonna call it test. Okay, we're gonna save it. That's it. And this is what the kids will do. Or you will see as well if you are in a class. Okay, what you see is this. You got 2 players because that's what I wanted, and I want the kids to have the instructions. This is the dice, which is interactive, and then when they come here, this is, can you see, this is the question. If it had been a video, that would have been a little screen with a video. If it had been another page, a website, it will take them to another website or a link that they need to click on, and then ejemplos de machismo, and that could, if I want, I can create a task everywhere. And so I'm like, oh, actually I like that one. Edit. You may want to say, okay, not yet. These, can you see that draggable, these elements? So you can, again, you can make more ladders. You can make them smaller. You can make them be, you know, bigger. It's up to you how you want to do it. So you can create more of these snakes. You can, you know, basically as you want to. And when you are set, it's like, I'm quite happy with this. Okay, all is set. What you do is you go, I'm set. It means that's finished. And this is quite good. With Genially, I always say reusable. What does it mean? That if I do a search later on, other people can use my template. So your template will become one of those templates that you can see there. And I think that's very useful because then the whole teaching community in the world basically sharing the same resources. So I'm going to be reusable. However, this was a test. I'm going to put no reusable at this time. And then I'm going to public online. You can make it private, but private would be only if you pay for it. I don't think, I mean, there's nothing, I don't know why you would have it private. I don't know, but obviously it's a choice then. You got a description, so people, when they're looking for something to do, basically and anyways about, and it tells you here, you mark your creation as reusable, the following conditions will be applied, so you can look at the conditions obviously for it. Then you go all set, and this is the thing there. Basically you can download it as a JPEG or PDF, but then it loses obviously all the interactivity, or you can just share it, and then when you share it, you can link it, you can insert it as well. Okay, so you want to put it on Firefly, for example, or in your own web and blog, or you just normally what I do is that I go, as if you play, it's an exclusive page, it doesn't really matter one or the other. So basically I got this, I copy it, and I can go to OneNote, I can share that with my students will click on the link, and this is what they would get. So this is my students now in their computer, and actually they will have that game, and they are now playing with their partners, and they can, I'm gonna put myself away from here, and they can be dragging the elements, and you can see who is winning, who is not. So you can see how good that is. For language teachers, you can have the oral questions if you're doing oral work. It could be written work. For maths teachers, you can do this, and every time they come here, they do have a little bit of an equation. So they can, with whiteboards, they write the equation, and then actually can show you, is this right? Or the other person can, I think the equation is wrong or is right. And so it's a really interactive, nice way to really to have as an activity to have in your lesson, which is not all the time just doing a worksheet, writing down interaction, and the kids respond really, really well, especially you have a lesson on a Friday last period. So I hope this is helpful, and again, another fantastic use of a really simple digital tool in blended learning.